Hello there. Just recently I had an interview with David White of the band Heathen. He needs not to be introduced, I think, because Heathen is a fucking big thrash band since the 80s and they have a fantastic new album. And we talked about that, about Corona touring and being a rock star, being in a band. Watch it, enjoy, subscribe, comment, share it around, and have a nice day. David White of the band Heathen.
At 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that.
That's
I
all.
don't know how it's called, the time difference between USA and Germany. I don't know the term for that.
It's 9 hours.
9 hours. Wow. And is there a term for that? There have to be.
A what? A term for that?
Yeah, that's like the time difference. I don't know.
Or it just means it's totally fucked.
I saw there's something smart people would say to that, but
It's
okay.
the time continuum.
Yeah. That looks like coffee.
It is. Coffee.
Yeah, I got this
Oh, nice. What is
mug.
that on there?
It's and coffee for all.
Oh, cool. Well, there's a company out of New York, and I did a podcast with them, and they sent me some coffee, and this is their brand is Death Wish Coffee. They claim it's the strongest coffee in the world, and I don't know if that's true, but I can tell you the coffee is awesome, and it's a great way to start your day.
I always was very surprised how good and strong the coffee from Starbucks is.
The coffee's terrible.
Yeah, it's not the best coffee in the world, that's for sure, but it's quite strong if you compare it to other coffee you get here in Germany.
Oh, I see. Well, uh, they're they accidentally burnt the roast a long time ago when they first started. They burnt the roast, and they sold it anyway, and everybody's like, "Wow, this is really great." It was burnt. It was burnt roast coffee, but that's been their signature. And we visited family in Seattle, which is the hub for Starbucks, and we went to one of their stores there, and it was a roasting shop, like it was a huge store, and it was amazing. They had cold brew, they had everything, and the coffee there was actually amazing. So my wife's chiming in. She's like, it was like Disneyland. Disneyland for coffee lovers.
I'm all alone except for the cat.
Oh, I see.
I share a room with a cat.
Well, that's cool. What's your cat's name?
Eddie.
Eddie. Like Iron Maiden, Eddie.
Yeah, but my girlfriend got the cat some 9 years ago, and he already was named Eddie, so another
That's cool.
circumstance. But it
I see.
fits.
That's cool. Yeah, we have a dog and a cat. My dog is Gibson, like the guitar, Gibson Les Paul, and then Shelby's my cat.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So to have a final question for about the about coffee. Do you know, or do you ever did you ever hear from the cat coffee?
Cat coffee? No.
It's quite disgusting.
I guess.
There
It
is there is
tastes like cat piss.
no. It's even worse.
Oh, geez. Well,
I don't know which country it is from, but it's a gourmet coffee, and it's like there's the coffee beans are digested by cats. They
okay.
shit it out,
Yeah.
and then
What's
they roast coffee from that.
I see. Yeah, that's weird.
Yes,
Yeah, there's a few things. What's the other thing that it's some kind of food that's ingested by an animal or something, and then they take it out and then they make it and you eat it, I think. But I can't think of what it is right now. Anything that I don't want to eat anything that somebody just shit out, whether it's an animal or whatever.
Or spit out. I saw a video
Oh,
last
yeah,
night. There was a woman, and she wanted to cook something, and instead of cutting the ingredients, she just
chewed it up.
she chewed it and spit it in the bowl, and I was finished. Like, yeah, no,
Oh, that's making me hungry right now.
not even a kid man 25
But
years ago.
that's
Not,
gross. But
not
going back, yeah, well, that's what birds do, right? They regurgitate, or not regurgitate, but yeah, I guess so they do. They regurgitate the food for their babies, and then the cows, they chew that what they're eating, and they chew the cud, and then they chew it, and they advances into one stomach, and then they bring it back up, and they chew it, and it goes into another stomach. I think they have like a few different, I think 2 or 3 stomachs, and
yeah,
they call
yeah. I
that
heard about.
chewing the cud, and that's what cows do. It's
Imagine
a crazy world.
imagine seeing that in a restaurant, like someone swallows it and talks a bit with you and makes like whoop.
Well, did you ever watch, Sacha Baron Cohen, one of his movies? I don't think it was Barad. I can't remember which one it was, but he was in disguise as a chef that had served in prison, and he was like and he was actually he had this food critic. It was a real critic come in, and he served him this food and the sausage that was. He told the story about how the guy had to smuggle the sausage in his ass into the prison. And he's like, oh, so he wanted to recreate that for the guy, and it's so fucking awesome. It's hilarious. But then
So
he told him, oh, that the other sausage was actually from a young boy that sacrificed part of his I think his arm or something like that, for the sausage, and the guy was eating it, like willingly, but it wasn't really, But
okay, so there was Borat 2,
I
Brutal.
don't know if it was a Barat movie. I don't know. I don't remember, but it was a Sacha Baron Cohen movie for sure.
I will
Yeah.
Google that. I will
Oh yeah,
have to
it was
Google that.
it's the chef. It's absolute. I mean, yeah. Anyway,
I
so
have
anyway, so what's happening in the world of heavy metal?
oh you of course, and me writing about it.
All right.
I did the Heathen review a while ago for Reflections of Darkness, and yeah, when the opportunity arose, did arise, to be precise, I took it and asked Craig if I could do an interview with you, and yeah, here we are.
All right.
So I had to do some research because I'm buried in work, and I cannot listen to as much music as I would want to, because I have to listen to too much music that I don't want to.
Oh wow. Yeah. See,
Sometimes,
I don't want to listen to something that I don't want to listen to. I think it's even like bad information. It's just like I think it takes a toll on you, you know. And same thing
yes,
with bad music. It's like, I give bad music, like if someone says, oh, check out this, that, and I'll give a song about 20 seconds, and if it's not capturing my attention, or if it's off-putting or something like that, it's like, okay, next, you know, because I just, you know, it does something to me internally, I think, you know, for my mind and for my soul, I guess. So I'm very cautious when it comes to that kind of thing.
It's funny that you say that. The reason because I like your vocals and your band Heathen is because there are so many thrash bands out there that do this to me. You have we have the beginning of a song and it sounds raw and awesome and it kicks your ass right from the start, and then the vocals start and it's just next. And yeah, Heathen is one of those bands that I really appreciate because I really like the kick-ass approach. I like thrash. I like it rough. I like the aggression and the mindset of thrash bands, the political stuff in the lyrics and all that. But I really like it if there's still a singer on the microphone and not just somebody who sounds like he's shredding something.
Well, I mean, you know, it's funny because I think, you know, like Pantera is one of the bands that sort of got that, you know, changed things where, you know, it was such a heavy sound with, you know, and with that vocal, but yet, you know, he could also sing. And so, but then as time went on with Pantera, everything that he did was, you know, in that Cookie Monster kind of voice. But it was, you know, I mean, that was what he wanted to do, and a lot of singers and a lot of groups sort of took on that persona. And I know it's very difficult to do that. Especially live every night on tour. So I have a great respect for those that do that. But for me, it takes away from the actual body of the real voice that you have, going for that, you know, kind of thing. It reminds me of in the movie The Exorcist, you know, when the devil's possessed Reagan, you know, it's like, you know, it's not pleasing to me. But you know, I just do what I do, and I try to, you know, I want to bring it with aggression, and I want to be able to move my voice around to where I can be gritty and gruff, and I can also soar, you know, take my voice to another level, and do different things within the song, you know, as far as layering. So you can have, you know, a gruffy, you know, gritty vocal, but then you have a harmony or multiple harmonies, you know, that are intertwined in that vocal to give it depth.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Pantera, and their records like Cowboys from Hell are the first thing you mentioned. He was a awesome vocalist, and he could do the shouting, and but he could also sing really well. And I could listen to records like this the whole day.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's a great singer, and he just, you know, got into that, you know, like I call it Cookie Monster, because everything is just, and that's the problem, is a lot of the bands sound the same because of it. You can have great music behind it, you know, and it's lost because all you hear is, you know, and it's like, whoa, shit.
I yeah.
You know, but you know, like I said, I mean, everybody is trying to do their thing, and they are trying to do what they think is best for their group, and we're all trying. You know, there's probably a lot of people that don't necessarily like what I do just because it's too much melody or whatever. They want to hear that, you know, that shrieking or that gruffy vocal, you know, Lamb of God style. But even the singer for Lamb of God has, you know, he has the voice. He can sing. He can definitely sing. It's a lot of power behind that. So, you know, I appreciate all of it. I mean, like I said, it's not an easy job, and you have to put your voice on the line all the time. And especially, like I said, on tour, it's every day, every day.
So, as I already mentioned, I did a bit of research because I just didn't want to go into this badly prepared or unprepared. So I googled your former band, Blind Illusion,
Okay.
and oh, that's some strong, progressive, odd stuff, but sounds cool. I couldn't find anything with you on vocals on YouTube because they only have the later stuff. I think
Oh, really?
yeah.
There should be something. I haven't looked on YouTube. I did a demo, which actually is coming out. It's the Likewise Sessions. There's a label that's putting it out, and it's a demo that we did at Likewise Studios. We were all about 16 years old, and my voice is not. I'm you know, it's still very high vocal, and I was just learning how to sing. I started off playing the drums, and then. And actually, the band that became Blind Illusion was the band that I started with Alvin Petty and Mark Biederman, and we had a falling out as friends, and so I left the group and was playing drums with some other guys, which some of the guys that became Hex from the area. We all went to school together. You know, we went to De Anza High School. It was the guys from Hex, Kirk Hammett from Metallica, Les Claypool, who was in Blind Illusion. After I left, he came into the group out of high school. He was in Mr. B's class, which was the classical guitar class, and that was Mark Biederman, Dan Watson, Kirk Hammett, Les Claypool, and others. Bill Peterson, who became a bass player, and we used to get together at lunchtime and hang out and party a little bit. And Mark had noticed that Les had long fingers, and he was like, "Dude, you got long fingers. You should play the bass. If you play the bass, I'll teach you, and then you could join my band." And so Les joined the band at that point, and then he left right before I became the singer. I brought in Chris Olson, who I was playing in the band with, to play bass. He was also a guitar player, and we as a group, it was Brett Hearn, Chris Olson, Mark Biederman, and I for about a year. And then Les made a phone call and said, "I'm ready to come back and do it." And he felt confident in his playing at that point, and he came back into the fold. And then we brought in Brian Kehoe on guitar, so we had two guitar players, and that was really the killer lineup. But before Brian came in, we did another demo with Les, and it had two songs. It was On Death's Bed and Kamikaze, and that's like a pretty nice demo, pretty polished, and it should be out there somewhere. And that got us our first airplay on KUSF, which is college radio. It was Mike Varney and I forget who else, but Ron Quintana, who was really the center of a lot of the whole heavy metal underground scene, because he used to play on his radio show, heavy metal show, on Saturday nights, starting at like 2 a.m. Used to play all kinds of new wave of British heavy metal, and really opened up, all of our eyes to a lot of music that we had never been privy to at that point.
Yeah, those were the times, huh?
Yeah. So
No internet.
But then, but Blind Illusion took a lot of different turns, and it changed after that, and we started going more into the metal vein, and then we did a demo called Trilogy of Terror, and as well, and then maybe a year after that I left, and then I joined Heathen, and
Yeah.
Blind Illusion's continuing today. They're making a record right now.
Yeah, I read about that. I also read that you play in a band named Audio Trip. Is that
Audio Trip.
yeah?
Yeah. Oh, well, that was a project I did. It was just it was a cover band. Um, I did a project with Terry Lauderdale, who was actually in Heathen for a little bit. Great guitar player from the Bay Area. We did a UFO sort of. It wasn't a tribute band, but we played all UFO stuff. And we were sort of uh, in a mode with other bands from the Bay Area that were doing covers. And most of those bands were tribute bands where they actually dressed up like Iron Maiden or AC/DC, things like that. We weren't into like trying to dress up or look like UFO. We just wanted to play the music as best that we could and basically, pay homage to, one of the bands that, carved, our musical influence. So, and I had met this bass player who was playing in a group that was doing Iron Maiden covers, and he asked me about joining another group that he was involved in, and it became Audio Trip, and we played just an array of covers, and we would play in bars, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great education, as far as learning a lot of different songs songs that I liked, but just never really learned them to actually perform them. And I played with those guys for about 2 years, something like that. But I'm always doing something. I did Laughing Dead in between Heathen when I was out of Heathen, then I came back. My latest project was with Randy and the Boys, my friend Randy Markham, who also sings in a band called Cantel. We have like a country, I call it a country sway band, but it was another, kind of a bar band, but we played originals and some covers. And we had like my good friend Alvin Petty plays banjo and mandolin and harmonica in the band. I played drums in the group, and it's just a lot of fun because it was, all my friends. We all played together, so I'm always trying to stay busy no matter what.
So, of all the Heathen songs of the record so far, what is your favorite song to sing?
I'd have to say, coming from there's different eras of things. So, I would say off the first record, "Open the Grave" is probably one of my favorites. Off of Victims. Victims, I think maybe Opiate of the Masses, and then on Evolution of Chaos, my favorite is Fade Away and No Stone Unturned. Also Silent Nothingness, which we don't play all that often, but those are my three favorites off that record. And with this new album, we've yet to play live because of COVID, so I don't know yet what's going to be my favorite.
There is one thing I noticed with Shrine of Apathy. It really sounds a bit like a mixture of thrash and grunge.
And grunge?
Yeah, there's a grungy side to that song, where I always drift off and think of Soundgarden.
Oh, well, that's a nice compliment. I can tell you that Chris Cornell is like one of my favorites. There was a lot of metal people that didn't really appreciate what the grunge era brought. But as a singer, for me, metal was really going down. There's a lot of, the death metal and then of course the Cookie Monster vocals. And I think that, for a large audience, I think a lot of people were turned off by that because there's no melody. You can't sing along with that kind of stuff. And so when the grunge scene happened, you had bands like Soundgarden and Alice in Chains and Stone Temple Pilots, Spin Doctors, where you had cool songs, great songs to sing along. And Chris Cornell really set the bar, high bar. I mean, unbelievable. And my favorite singer pretty much of all time is Ian Gillan and Freddie Mercury, but Ian Gillan because he definitely had some serious grit to his voice, but he also had a beautiful voice. He could move it around like no other. And Chris Cornell really reminded me of Ian Gillan, with his screams, and beautiful melodies in the vocal, and he could get, down and dirty for sure. So I take that as a compliment.
That is a compliment. That is, it's coming from an odd angle, but it was. I don't know how to put it. It sounds weird to say that, but sometimes I'm listening to music and get this, whoa, this is 90s feeling. This is totally the 1990s. And if I'm listening to Shrine of Apathy, I could totally imagine someone wandering around in a plaid shirt, long hair, and maybe a cigarette or a joint by the hand.
Definitely a joint.
Definitely a joint, yeah. And
no more long hair.
Yeah, maybe a bit sad boy face to that. And yeah, it's a great song, but it really reminds me totally of the 90s grunge theme. The very melodic, not Nirvana.
No.
Alice in Chains, Soundgarden.
Right, and that song, I mean that. Excuse me. That's probably my favorite song on the record, just because of the movement on the vocal. Was able to really move around and show what I can do in my lower range and then also in my higher range, and we're able to blend a lot of vocals, a lot of voices together, to bring out the best in that song. And I think the other songs are a little more straightforward, where that song and maybe Son of My Hand have a little more depth in the vocals. So I'm always for that because I'm the singer. So yeah.
Yeah, the vocals on Shrine of Apathy really got this. They are. I don't know how to describe it. It's the vibe I get from that is so. It's a really chill feeling you get. So listening to that song, okay, you get your moments where you can give him a little more power and get a little higher, but the main structure is really, yeah, it's really chill.
Right, and I mean, and it's a great song. I mean, Cragen wrote a great song, and it's, we didn't really have that type of song on the last record. I think Evolution of Chaos was, we were really going for it, and there was no ballad or anything like that, mid-tempo kind of thing where, we had done in the past. So it was nice to come back to that and sort of stretch out, even though like with this album, we really tried to tighten the songs up and not have the big long arrangements, but we definitely wanted to have a lot of depth, and we wanted to take you guys on a journey. We wanted to, have lots of peaks and valleys on the record. We feel like it's super important, to put on a record and be able to just like listen, and it takes you places, and you kind of, and every time even for me I still listen to it all the time just to make sure that I remember the songs and just sort of stay with it. But also I'm always listening and critiquing as I listen, and I hear things that I haven't heard, every time. There's always some little nugget that I'm like, oh, that's really cool there. I dig that, and that's what we want for you guys. We want the fans to be able to listen to the record and, for a long time, and that it doesn't ever get old.
It's my favorite song of the record too, and talking about the quality of the record is many people in the magazines criticize that sounding too polished, and it's for me it's always like yeah, you're criticizing it's sounding too good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know,
I
the world, it's like opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and and that's okay. I mean, we have a lot of fans going back to the first record that think that Breaking the Silence is the best Heathen record ever. And believe me when I say, I appreciate that. I mean, I want everybody to have their favorite, but we definitely want to keep moving forward, and bring in new people, and the people that have supported us from the beginning. We hope that they'll enjoy the stuff that we keep doing, the new stuff, but we have to keep moving forward, and we just hope that even if Breaking the Silence is your favorite, that you'll still keep coming to the shows and keep the support up, because we can't do it without the fans. There's no way.
Yeah, it sure is one of the best records this year. It is on my best of 2020 list, and it's I did a Spotify list. You're on there as well,
Nice.
and
Thank you.
yeah, of course, it's Shrine of Apathy.
Well, it's my favorite too, and it's so funny because the label, like, oh, they really liked Sun in My Hand, and they liked Empire the Blind, and they liked The Blight, and like I said, everybody has their own favorites, and when we were finished, I told Craig, and I was like, I think we need to push this one, but what happens with things like that is the cream rises to the top, and everything will come as it should. So we have a few different lyric videos to keep the ball rolling. We're looking at doing another one because right now we can't tour, so we're just trying to keep things fresh as much as we can.
I have two more little questions.
Okay.
For you. That's questions I always ask, so to keep a structure. Is there any band you would like to accompany on tour left?
Well, it would be great to go out with, and I my sights are very high. But I would love, especially with this record, I would love to go out with Metallica, or even Iron Maiden, or Judas Priest. I think Heathen's been around long enough to where how incredible that would be to go out with a group that could really help us to put us in an echelon that the band actually has worked hard to get to. But we've been very lucky to have toured with Exodus, Sepultura a couple times, Destruction. All those guys are all family to us, and so however it works. I mean, the main thing for me in a lot of aspects is touring with people that we like, that we know that we can tour with and get along with. We had a great tour with Overkill. They took us out on the Evolution of Chaos record on our second. We did a tour by ourselves when we first put the record out, and then we were able to get on with Overkill and Destruction, and that was a great tour. Those guys were great to us, and we became friends on that tour. So but like I said, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Megadeth, we'd love it. Even Anthrax. I mean, it would be great.
That would be a great billing for a festival.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do this.
I know, I'm telling you. Well, I think that the style of music that we do is really reminiscent of Maiden or even Metallica, because it has sort of entities of both groups, you know.
Yeah,
So I think we would complement those bands quite nicely.
so. It's Metallica, Iron Maiden, Heathen, and Iced Earth.
Oh, that's another great band that I'd love to tour with.
Because Iced Earth is also, for me, it's also a mixture of Iron Maiden and Metallica, so that would be perfect. What is your favorite metal band, aside from your own band?
My favorite metal band? Well, I mean, I don't know. I think Judas Priest, as far as metal, Black Sabbath was my, sort of, that was my introduction to that kind of heavy music. They're sort of heavy rock and sort of the newer type metal, but Black Sabbath is one of my all-time favorites. But I'd say Priest or Scorps. I think the Scorpions are especially the older stuff, the stuff with Uli, that's just has such a groove to it, but yet it's got crunch and they have great songs. With Priest, it's that heaviness that I love, and just amazing vocal presence every time.
And you shave a hairdo.
Ha! Yeah.
Yeah. Black Sabbath. Ozzy, Dio, or Tony?
Oh, you said Tony? Tony? Like Tony? Oh no! I would say if you're going to talk Sabbath, Ozzy always for sure. He's the epitome of Black Sabbath to me, because that's what I grew up on. But I love all the Dio stuff, and Dio, Heaven and Hell is just an amazing record. I mean, the vocals on that are just incredible. But and it's funny because when Ozzy left and they didn't have a singer, and I was in Blind Illusion at the time, and we talked about that. We're like, who's gonna sing for Black Sabbath? And we were like, oh, maybe Dio. And I was like, oh, wouldn't it be incredible if they got Ian Gillan? And they got Dio, and we're like, oh, okay. And then once upon all of a sudden, years down the road, here comes Ian Gillan, and he does Born Again. And, which that record was incredible. And I saw that tour as well. He was amazing, just amazing.
But the cover, that was really ugly.
Yeah, but I mean, all of it. I mean, all of it as a collective. I mean, I love the band, and it's like I said, they had probably one of the greatest impacts on me growing up. As far as where my musical direction was going to go. The biggest one. And I remember going into the record store and buying, Paranoid, and I still have that record today. I still have the original vinyl that I bought. And then I bought Sabotage, in which, that one, when I redid my turntable, the first record that went on that turntable was Sabotage.
Yeah, I got something really nice for my birthday. My best friend bought me this.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
That is the new Kansas record.
Oh, New Kansas?
Yes.
They have a new record out?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I did a review and it was really fucking great. It's really proggy.
Yeah.
And really chill, but it's it was one of the records of this year too.
Wow. I had no idea.
Put it in the list.
I love Kansas. That's one of the bands that I've listened to over the years, and great music, but also great vocals every time.
They have a new singer, because I think he's with the band for 10 years or something like that, and but he's great. He's really great.
And what's the name of the record? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's the name of the record is The Absence of Presence.
The Absence of Presence. Okay. Nice.
Check this out.
I will. That's awesome.
Good. I got no more questions left. No more ammunition.
Well, what I have one question.
Yeah.
When was your birthday?
Sunday.
Oh wow, this last weekend. That's the 29th. I have a nephew. His name is Enzo, and he just turned 12 on the same day.
40.
You share a birthday. Oh, all right. Yeah, you share a birthday with my nephew. It's very cool. He's a good kid.
Enzo.
So, yep. So happy birthday for you. 40. Now you're a very old guy.
Thanks.
My birthday's at the end of this month, December 30th. It's coming.
Oh, one day before Sylvester.
Yeah, exactly. New Year's for us, yeah.
A few days after Christmas. That always sucks.
Oh, it totally sucks. It totally sucks. But but when I when I married my wife, or maybe before I married my wife, but when I met her parents, her mom shares a birthday with me. So that was kind of cool, and so we had that connection, and then I found out about through Ancestry.com. I found out that I have another sister, that's a half sister, and she's 2 years older than me to the day. We have the same birthday. So
that's pretty strange.
Yeah,
2 years prior.
I know, it's strange. And I even have a niece that shares a birthday with me. So I don't mind it. It's right after Christmas, right before New Year's. It's a good time to celebrate. As a kid, it sucked because, everybody's out of town for Christmas. And so, and I have a brother, a stepbrother, but we're close and we're 2 months apart, and his birthday's in October. So you'd always have the best birthday parties, and we're the same age, so there's a lot of the same kids would come, and it would be a house full of kids, and then my birthday would be like a few kids because everybody was gone on Christmas vacation. So I was that disgruntled kid, like, it's my fucking birthday too. This sucks.
That was a spark that turned you into a heavy metalhead.
That was one of them.
No presents.
Well, I know. It's like, oh, here's your Christmas present and birthday present. It's like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Oh, it's just worth 12 euros or dollars. Yay.
Yeah. But like I said, now that I'm older, I don't. It's just interesting to me, that how I share the birthday, and I've met people, over time where it's really odd. Like, oh, when's your birthday? Oh, it's December 30th. Oh, my birthday is December 30th. So I think it's a blessing. It's all good.
Yeah, it's good to have a birthday.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Okay. So.
You don't have another question? Come on.
One question I always ask is, how did Corona influence you as a musician this year?
Oh, well, it influenced me in a lot of bad days. I have to tell you, it influenced the move from the Bay Area to Florida. We have my wife's family, they're here, her parents are here. And, we were sitting at home, sheltering in place. I was pretty bummed out that, all our tour plans got canceled. And, sort of like contemplating what we're going to do. And we had the opportunity to come here. And so we packed a bunch of our stuff and we took a road trip, drove across country, and we drove to Florida. And where we're living is close to the beach. We figured it'd be nicer to shelter in place by the beach than it would be, in Oakland, California. So, but musically, I'm playing, to stay busy. I'm playing guitar a lot, playing drums a lot. And because of this whole situation, Heathen is actually in mode now where we're starting to write the new record. Our goal is to shock our fans and actually put out a record in a timely manner this time. So it's not like a large gap of time. So, and this is the time we can do it. So, good things, bad things, but
Oh yeah.
we're all healthy and we're good. I can't wait for it to be over. I miss all my friends abroad, and we look forward to getting over there and playing some music. This band hasn't, with the new drummer and the new bass player, this band has not played together yet. We've only recorded a record together, but we have not performed. And we were all looking so forward to doing that, and it got taken away. But not unlike a lot of musicians that have, been stymied by this. So, it's very heavy metal what has happened. You think about all the different bands and what the subject matter has been in the last 20 years, and it talks about like the plague or the apocalypse or whatever, doomsday, and we've been living it for the last year. So, we sort of we kind of got what we wrote about.
Yeah, if you watch the scene and the lyrical themes in heavy metal, you should think that once the apocalypse really happens, every metalhead would celebrate it. But no, it's like, nah,
Well, I
this
think it's
sucks.
like anything. It's like, it's even like, I think like with the Bible, there's a lot of things in the Bible that are warnings, and you need to heed the warnings. And I think like this is a wake up call for the planet, we need to take better care. We need to be prepared. We need to really, really be more in tune with our planet,
Oh yeah.
and with each other. We have sort of become more distant with each other as a planet more than ever before, and it's time to pull it together, be on the same page for once. But
Yeah.
that'll never happen because people are crazy.
I don't know. Once COVID is over, I will go out there and hug strangers. I
Yeah,
really miss hugging people.
I know, huh? I know it. It's totally true. Totally true.
To think how often you touch someone when there's no possibility to do so is really mind-boggling to me.
Well, I know. Not even a handshake. All
Yes,
this fist pumping and elbows and.
I never would have thought I would miss to shake hands with people.
I know it.
Yeah.
I know it. But I can tell you, like, there's times where, especially like playing shows and stuff, and people drinking, and they're like, ah, and it's like there's a lot of spit going on, and people that I don't miss that.
I understand that. Yeah, that's not only if you're a rock star. It's in the pit. It's always a little bit bah.
Well, yeah, no, I don't mean it as I just mean just in general. Yeah, and crowds like that when everybody's drinking and partying and excited and it's just part of it. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's important that we be more mindful now.
It will be my safety catchphrase forever. If someone comes at me and wants to touch me and is drunk, I will just do the Jack Nicholson and say distance, but louder.
Yeah, exactly.
Just shout distance.
Yeah, exactly. But like you said, though, I think that what if this thing really clears up, and like the vaccines are very effective, and and everything, it's going to be, it's going to be a very, a sounding rejoice for sure, because it's been a trying time, and we're still not done. So, and we're talking maybe 6 months down the road. It's still a long time.
Yes. I really hope that we will make it in time to for the Rock Art Festival next year. because normally I would have had the opportunity to see you this year in May, and maybe we'll see each other next year. So that will be very cool because I really need to buy merch. I'm addicted to merch, and
Right.
I learned to sew in quarantine.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh, you did really?
yes, I can do the patch thing now.
Nice, nice.
I
Well,
I did
you can
one
always find our
already.
merch. You can find our website, so that you can always get stuff ahead of time. But yeah, we'll have stuff when we come. So I look forward to it as well. And I appreciate your time today, even though it's
Yeah,
early.
I appreciate it too, and yeah, thanks for taking your time for this interview, kind
You're
of
welcome.
chat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. That's why I like to keep it as a, just chatting and talking about music and wherever it takes us. I think is the best.
I think so too. Okay, so I think I'm going to lay down a bit. I'm tired.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, thanks, Dennis. I really appreciate it.
Me too. So have a nice day, and yeah, thanks very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Bye.
We'll see you soon. Bye.